This question is for both of you guys. Why did you all decide to open up and share with your platform something so personal?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the life that we live now, obviously, is far from private. And regardless, once we knew the situation was real, we knew that we couldn't keep it a secret from our family and friends and the world, because it was going to obviously get out anyway, despite what. And I'm not the type of person that's going to hide, something like that, a child or anything. Like, I'm going to be just as proud of my child, even if I was ashamed of how I got it. You see what I'm saying? So I just couldn't live with myself as a person and as a man to try to even do that. And I feel like if we did try to keep it a secret, the backlash of it coming out, if it did, or when it did get out, whether a month or 5 years from now, it would kind of like tarnish, like, I want to say reputation, but it was just like tarnish the credibility of us in our morals in general, and it's like, even though I feel that it's no one else's business but mine, because this is, but ours, because it's affecting our life and it has something to do with our life, but the world we live in now, there's really no privacy and everybody want to know everything.
Yeah.
From your sex life to what you're eating in the morning, you see what I'm saying? So I don't know how we got to this point in life, but it is what it is. So I just didn't feel comfortable, trying to keep it a secret, and you gotta live in your truth, and I feel like that's the only way we're gonna ever be comfortable, with the situation and with our lives, period, is by being honest about everything, and for me to come out and tell my family about the situation ultimately was more devastating than the world finding out, because these are people I actually know and care for, and they love me, and you don't really want to disappoint the people, that's been there for you, what I'm saying, and that's helped you through stuff. So it's just kind of like, it was one of those things, like, I was ashamed, what I'm saying, to tell that part or whatever, but it was more so of me telling our family members and even the world,
Yeah.
So just that truth alone, I feel like was greater than, anything, period.
But I think ultimately, I just was thinking for the sake of the child. Like, me as a woman, despite how painful and hurtful the situation was for me, and how, me and Jeremy have had to deal with it as a couple and as a family, it's just for me, like, I couldn't see myself as a woman taking away the experience and the life of another innocent child, because regardless of how he came to be, I just knew I wanted it to be fair. I didn't want him to have to grow up and one day look back and say, I wasn't included in my family's or my father's side of his life, his world with his family, because of how I came to be, and he starts to react in that manner. Also, like, even from 6 months to a year from now, like, when we're completely here, like, we're so public, we see people all the time, it's gonna be, it was bound to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's so inclusive, like, we want him to be so included in what we have going on. We didn't want to, our subscribers, people see us every day, all the time when we're out, and people are like, wait a minute. So regardless, we wanted to be able to live in our truth and let us share our truth, us be able to explain to the world how this process came and how it's impacted us. And if we're healing, like, it's real, like, we're human, we're healing, and that happens. We want to normalize living in your truth, because for so long I think that the platform that we're on, I don't want to say it hasn't been normalized for people to be honest about things that they go on, but that's the truth. Like, people don't want to see imperfect relationships. People don't want to see imperfect life. Like, and no one is perfect. Like I said, I don't want to be 6 months from now, we all happy and we're like, okay, babe, let's go ahead and tell everybody what transpired, and we're still gonna get the same reaction. So we kind of like wanted to just dive in head first, let it be known, let it out, and move on from the situation. So
what's the old saying? I'd rather you tell me than somebody else.
Yeah.
We gonna tell the world what it really is, the real story versus somebody seeing us out.
Yeah.
And now it's a million stories of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So once you find out what's going on, you gonna hear from our mouth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like it was just best for us to tell it.
Yeah.
You know, and just be honest about it.
So, Jeremy, are you using Keesha?
Am I using Keesha? No. It's so funny because it's just like, me, I'm the type of person, I don't really indulge in the he say, she say, or with the critics and whatever, like people talking. I know you always, you know what I'm saying, you always bring to my attention because, you know, I don't read comments, I don't do none of it. Like, I don't even I barely look at my messages in my DMs. So it's just like, for me to like hear people saying it, it's just like, geez, like what do y'all really think of me? Like, you know, I'm a man. Like, I don't need a woman for anything. Like, I've been handling my business my whole life. Like, you can go check my credentials. Like, everything I accomplished, I did it by myself. You see what I'm saying? So I don't need a woman for anything. Like I stated in videos before, like I had no idea what Keesha had going on when we reunited. You know, so other than from high school, like I thought she was doing like makeup tutorials. What I said, I didn't know how she was living. I didn't know. I just knew that she had a lot of followers on Instagram, but I knew a lot of people that had a lot of followers on Instagram, both by followers on Instagram. So it's just like I ain't think nothing of it. I just knew that she was a great person that I knew from high school, and I knew you were a great person that I knew from high school, and you know. Reached out, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's kick it, you know. So I just feel like other people, in a way, they are intimidated by you because of your success and the type of woman that you are. That when you brought somebody else on, you know what I'm saying? It seems like you kind of like elevated me in a sense, but I'm just on your platform now, so they just get to see more of me. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like even this whole relationship with us, like we benefited off of each other. That's what I feel like. That's the key. You know what I'm saying? To our success at this point is you've had plenty of things going on way before me. Yeah. I can never take from you. Just like you can never take the things that I've had going on before you. You see what I'm saying? But us coming together is what made it. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremy, you spoke intently in the book about your past relationships and how infidelity has been a recurring problem in your life. Would you have told Keesha if you didn't get a girl pregnant?
I mean, for one, me and Keesha already had a conversation, and we already had a conversation, and I basically just came out clean about everything that I had going on, regardless of what. Not even just infidelity, just in general. You know, we had like one of them heart-to-heart conversations, and that ended up coming out, and we found out later of the situation. But she knew what had happened and the things that I've done.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah,
you are so okay. That was so cute. Go ahead.
So yeah, it just we're very honest with each other, and I felt like that was something that I had to tell her. You know, especially what happened during it. So yeah, we definitely had this conversation. Yeah. You know, before we even found out. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like when we had our heart-to-heart about everything that he had done for us to try to move forward with the relationship, we had already started going to counseling and healing and trying to learn ourselves better and be better as a couple and work on things. We're young, and people make mistakes when they're young. People do things that they are not proud of. And that happens throughout your entire life, but especially when you're young, because you're learning stuff. You're learning love. No one has all the answers to everything. So like I said, when he had told me about what had happened with him and the girl, and everything had transpired the way that it did, we sought out help to understand our love for each other a lot more. In the process of us healing that way, we then found out this situation occurred. We had already done so much work and put in so much time and effort, and me learning to forgive, that when that happened, we had already been doing so much work, so it wasn't like a new burden on me. It was just a part of a process we were already healing from. So I know a lot of people are like wondering, like, oh, how can you do this, and how can you just forgive him so easily? We had already knew about the situation that occurred, and
she did not give me easy.
It wasn't no.
and that was the point I would like. That goes back even what I said before. Like, y'all only get a certain amount of our time and situations. Y'all don't see the other side. Like, y'all don't see the stuff that I had to go through just to even get back and get graces with her. Like, y'all don't see that. Y'all just see, okay, boom, y'all just see a video like, y'all together, y'all da-da-da, but y'all don't see all the other stuff.
Keisha, do you think you're a good mother for sticking around with Journey after producing a child?
Not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm an excellent mother. I think I'm a great mother in general. But more specifically, I know a lot of people like, but your daughters are looking at you. What our daughters see about me and Jeremy's relationship is they see their parents love each other. They're only 20 months and 1 month. So what our kids are seeing right now is unconditional love. Now, when they're 15, 16, or maybe even 12, when you're 11, 10, 9, you're a little bit more understanding to kind of sort of adult business. They're going to understand their brother dynamic. But as parents and as a mother, I had to be an example, and I had to be a mediator for making sure that my children know their brother. Immediately after I found out, like, this is their sibling, it was my responsibility to say, here's the green light. I mean, he didn't need a green light to be a father, but for him to have my okay and my blessing to say, this is how we need to move in this situation. So they had to meet their sibling and had that type of relationship. And what they're gonna know from this situation is that they have a brother that they love. My parents have done a whole bunch of craziness, and I've seen a lot of stuff transpire as a child. But all I know is how they handled the situation. And I know my kids are gonna look at me as a strong Black woman, a great mother, and a great role model for them. It's not teaching my children to accept someone to accept mistreatment. It's setting my children up to understand that love is worth fighting for, if it's worth fighting for. This is why I feel so set in my decision. Now, as me and Jeremy continue to grow with our relationship, if for 5, 10, 15 years we still with the same reoccurring bullshit, I'm still unhappy, my kids see me crying, they seeing their parents arguing, of course we can have this conversation of, okay, Keisha, but you got your kids looking at you like this. They seeing broken love. They're not seeing real love. But as we continue to evolve and heal while they're 1 and while they're 20 months, and all they see from this day forward is a father in their household and 2 loving parents who love them unconditionally, who love each other unconditionally, I don't understand how they could ever look at me and say, well, why'd you stick around? You look so happy. Mom, you and dad are doing great. Like, they're not gonna look at our situation like that, because if you ask your parents now, plenty of things that happen, it may not have been a child, but plenty of things that happen if your parents are still married, they're gonna say, hey, yeah, we went through this, we went through this, we went through that. Like,
I'm sorry, man. I just feel like, just as a Black community in general, like, we have so many broken families.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just the fact of a person to even want you to split up your family, despite what's going on, for you to split up your family just off of, oh, I don't like the way such and such did such and such or handled this or whatever did this. So I'm gonna literally split my whole family up.
And if we decide we're gonna fight for this and really see if we can keep our family together, I don't see anything wrong. We're not doing any harm to our kids. We're just trying to fight through a very unfortunate situation to keep.
Because like I said, I didn't grow up with my dad, you know what I'm saying? And even as I got older and more mature and wild, like, I still, like, it was always something to be like, dang, like, it's a part of me that I don't even know because I don't know my dad. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, I would never want my kids to grow up, you know what I'm saying? Like, feeling like that, like, period. I don't care, like, I can know everything my dad did and my mom did. It's just, it never negated the love that I always had for him, you see what I'm saying? Even finding out some of the stuff that he did, it's still as my kid, like, as my dad, just like everybody else. I don't know how other people feel about their parents, but that love and that nurture from your parents is just like, you can't make that up.
Yeah.
So, I just don't understand why people won't. But we'll go to the next question.
Okay, how did your family and friends feel when they found out?
What you think? Pissed. Hurt. Well, one thing I want to say is we decided, well, when we found out he could potentially be a father, we both had decided until we knew for a fact we weren't going to share it with anybody. So this was between us, our household, our family. We were going to deal with it, and until a DNA test was rendered, why go through the sake of hurting people or having people upset or wondering, or, you know, I was pregnant, so it was going to be a lot. And then when we found out, because like I said, we didn't even find out that he was actually the father until 2 weeks before I gave birth. And we opened up that can of worms, and I think a lot of people were just concerned about me, more so because they knew I was pregnant currently and how my mental was. But once they knew, like, this is something we've been dealing with, healing from and everything, they felt a lot better. They just knew, like, they wanted me to be okay. But of course they were completely upset with Jeremy. My family was definitely disappointed in Jeremy.
I mean, my family, your family and your family, so they're not gonna look at you, you know what I'm saying, in a way that other people will, you know what I'm saying, even if they could feel that way, but my family just kind of just encouraged me, you know, and just like to get through the situation, and, you know, just basically just told me God got a purpose for everything. But, you know, they also, you know, kept it real with me too, you know, because they know what type of woman Keesha is, and, you know, obviously, no woman, especially a woman like Keesha, does not deserve, you know what I'm saying, to go through that type of stuff, you know, so I definitely got an earful with that from my mom and family members, but, you know, it wasn't like bashing me or anything like that, it was just trying to help me through the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, how active are you in your son's life?
I'm very active. Like I said, nothing is more important than my kids, because when I leave, they're gonna be the only people on this earth walking for me. So they're gonna walk the earth for me. They're my legacy. They're my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Keesha could choose to part ways today, 30 years from now, but my kids will always be my kids, and they will always love me. Like I said, like I didn't know my dad growing up, you know, but I always loved my dad. Like, I could have been bitter, like, why you never came to get us or see us, or even just, you know what I'm saying, give us a gift or say happy birthday to us, anything. But just my life and my testimony is like, it shows me the love that kids gonna always have for their parents, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I'm very active in my son's life, you know. We both are, actually, you know what I'm saying? So it's just something else we gotta get through in life, you know. We plan on being together for forever, and we gonna have plenty more problems we gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, address and get through together, you see what I'm saying? So I just feel like our relationship is just so strong. We just know each other, you know what I'm saying? And what I was gonna say is, like, it's weird, but you don't pick and choose the person you love. It happens, you see what I'm saying? Like, despite what their past is or what they've been through, like, if you love them, you love them, you know what I'm saying? And you just gonna have to get through their issues or whatever they got going on together. Just like vice versa. If they love you, they gonna get through it, they gonna be with you, period. So you can pick and choose your partners or whatever, but you can't pick and choose love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a big part of where we are right now.
Yeah. I agree.
Will your baby boy be in the vlog?
To be honest, does not. I haven't even crossed that bridge yet because out of respect to his mom. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put him in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be criticized or you know what I'm saying? Just he's an innocent baby and he don't have nothing to do with what we got going on YouTube and the people, you know what I'm saying, that support us or whatever. So, and just seeing how our channel is, I honestly don't want to put him on.
Yeah.
I don't. Time gonna eventually let us know the next step.
Yeah.
But it just,
we're not rushing to try to say, here he is, you guys.
Just me personally, it just, I don't feel comfortable putting him on the channel, especially, I know a lot of y'all love us and support us, but it's also a lot of people who are very negative and
there it is right there.
And
his mom sees that, because when I talked to her about it, yes, we have talked, but when I talked to her about it, it was, she sees the love and she sees all the support we have, but if anybody who's not present on YouTube and you looking and you got to interject yourself or your family member into this type of lifestyle, they trying to see, okay, well, what's the cons? Not the pros of this. What's the cons of this? And she sees that, and we respect that. We understand it completely. No, a lot of people don't like that type of lifestyle. A lot of people cannot sit where we're sitting and have to be on the chopping block for things like this. A lot of people cannot do that. And she's one of those type of people in general where she's very private and not just more so like she's ashamed of what she did type of thing. It's just kind of like, I see the type of stuff they're saying about y'all's kids, and I don't want my son to have to be subjected to that type of scrutiny.
Exactly.
And we respect.
Even just dealing with our daughters coming out and them being here, the stuff we see people say about them, it just makes us not even want to put them on the channel.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'd rather not just put him on the channel and show him.
Yeah. And even if he's around, like, we'll get more acclimated with him being around, you know, you all may understand he's there, but it's not for us to try to say, here we go, y'all, here, this, you know, for people to try to,
There's not no publicity, this is not none of that, like, this is real life. This is
for when our kids grow up, they see that all adults in this situation all came together and did what was right for the kids.
Do the girls have a relationship with their brother?
Yeah.
Yes, they have a relationship with him.
Yeah, they went swimming together. They love each other.
Yeah.
They love each other.
We FaceTime.
Keesha, do you have a good relationship with the baby's mom?
We definitely have a respectful relationship. I know y'all probably, it took a lot for me to get here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because I was very hurt and disappointed by the situation from both parties. I know a lot of people are like, but it's just Jeremy. We wrote the book, and what we wanted to put in the book, we put in the book, and what we didn't want to put in the book, we didn't put in the book. But what I will say is it took a lot of praying, it took a lot of hard work and reflection within myself to get to this point. And I want my daughters to have the best relationship they possibly can, and I don't want to stand in that way. And by me being bitter towards her, having some type of hatred in my heart, or being negative in any kind of way, my daughters are gonna look at that. And I think that was, for me, even more so than them meeting their brother, I think for me it was harder for them to have to be around another woman. And even though, like I said, they're babies, but they look at me now and they can sense my energy. And I knew it was my responsibility to put out the best energy possible. And for that means forgiveness. And God has forgiven us all. I know that sounds so cliche, but God has forgiven us all. So who am I to sit here and work and heal with him, but I have hatred and negativity towards her. So we're definitely a respectful, cordial relationship, and that's that.
Jeremy, do you still have a relationship with your child's mother?
The day he was born, it was bigger than whatever we had going on. Cause to be honest, like me and his mother, like literally ceased talking just and all. Like we cut up all ties of communication. You know what I'm saying? But once we learned that he was my son, and that's when, no matter how I felt about her, how she felt about me, we gotta figure this out. You know what I'm saying? We gotta figure this situation out because it's about him. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I always encourage him to have communication with her because they need to be on the same page. I'm not his mother. I don't need to be his mother. He has a mother. I always encourage Jeremy to do the right thing and always talk and communicate with her if there's anything. And I always encourage her to have a conversation with him if you all are feeling any kind of way. I'm not the middleman. When me and Jeremy get married, be a stepmother to him. So that's when I actually be a mother figure, but I'm not in here to try to play mother or take that spot away from her. So I always encourage him to have a good relationship with her so that he can grow up in a healthy environment.
Your emotions.
She was your emotions.
And that's the worst thing. Like, it's one thing to just fuck somebody, but if you like them and felt some type of way about them for real, oh nah, hell nah. Hell nah. Like, if you emotionally tired with this person, hell nah. Like a nigga can just fuck one night and you never ever think about her again.
Ever.
I promise you, because I've done it.
And that's why it be so hard on the women. Like when we step out and we make a mistake, y'all be so mad because y'all know how the other woman thought about it. It's not how we think about it.
Absolutely.
We think
Bingo.
like it ain't nothing like that. Y'all like that bitch like you. That's
Yeah.
what you got in
And
her
she
head.
probably think you like her now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that just.
Because that's what I told him, like, you giving another woman an opportunity to try to have one up on me by thinking like you really liked her in that aspect. And
you want to understand, but understanding on both parts, like men and women, like to understand where y'all come from, so we can see now. Like, but that's the thing with rites of passage for men. We gotta make those mistakes for us to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I can see how I put my girl in a situation because she see how this other girl thinking about it. So boom, like I understand how to move forward now as a man, as a more mature man, to see these signs and how I put myself in a situation with a woman, what she might think. Boom, then on the other side, it's like now y'all as a woman have to understand the battle that we go through as a man too, where it's like our biology and our DNA, like we just like, damn, you know what I'm saying, some jump off shit. I don't even care about the woman. I'm trying to do the best thing I can be for you. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, deal with what society tell me and what my boys tell me about being a player and this is over here. We battling all that shit. And so sometimes you make mistakes and you got so much pressure on you to be a man and what society says a man is, what a woman says a man's supposed to be. And it's like you walking a thin line, you're on a rope. So it's like having to understand on both sides.
yeah.
And having these conversations. Would you have stayed in a relationship if the children weren't involved? I bet you could have talked about that a little bit more.
I definitely think, I don't really know. I think now that I have been through this situation with Jeremy, it has taught me a lot about myself and a lot about people. And a lot of times people tend to say what they would do in situations that they haven't been in. And like I said before, there have been plenty of times where I've been sitting with my homegirls, my family or somebody talking about, girl, if my man did this to me or my such and such did this to me, I wouldn't be there. I don't know how she putting up with that. Oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. And then when you find yourself in those situations and you like, oh my gosh, like this is what I would have done, but now that I'm sitting here facing it, there's so many different variables that factor into actually making a decision. And that's why I don't pass judgment on other people for their decisions, especially now that I've aged, because I don't know. You just don't know every single aspect and what goes on to people's decision when it comes to certain stuff. And it was not just easy to just stick around and say, oh, we got kids, we got to make this work. That was definitely one of the factors. Like, well, we do have a family. That's one thing. We know we love our family. We definitely want our daughters to grow up in a household with both their parents. We made these children out of love. And although Jory was not something we laid down and we decided at that moment, let's try for another child, but we definitely made her out of love. But for me, and a lot of people have tried to make our situation like is this way or no way. I definitely understand that I'm not naive to Jeremy's poor decision making when it comes to bad mistakes that he has made. But he's no different from anybody else who's made bad decisions. It's just that we're on a platform to have to share that. I've gotten plenty emails and calls to attest to exactly what I'm saying, of people telling me their whole story breakdown of things happened to me, girl, you know, and this is how I dealt with. And once we as people understand that there is no black and white when it comes to mistakes, when it comes to things that we do, I definitely know my worth. I'm not an insecure female by any, Jeremy can say I'm not an insecure female by any means. I don't have any issues with security. I think insecurity comes up in relationships when people do something to tap into that. So by him stepping out, it can make me feel like, well, why would you do that? And I have an insecure moment. But me being an insecure person, definitely not. I know my worth. I know Jeremy knows I'm the prize in this. And he's still a great guy, but I know I'm a great girl. Like, I know I'm anybody's catch. Like, I know that for a fact, because we have built something greater than what you guys just see on the surface level. This has definitely not been the easiest thing to have to accept for myself, but you never know what decisions you'll make until you're faced with those decisions. It's just always easier. And even for the people who have said, well, girl, I was faced with this and I chose to leave, that's okay. That was the path you chose to take, and I'm so happy that that's the life you chose for yourself, and I hope you guys are doing great. But this is the path that I chose to take, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I will pick myself up and I will move on, and we will still be the greatest parents to our children. But I decided I want to give this one more chance, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Keesha knows I love her. Keesha knows, you know, the lengths that I'm willing to go about her, you see what I'm saying? And she knows. I don't feel like that's a question that I have to like elaborate on to the world. You see what I'm saying? Because whatever I feel like I need to do for my girl, I'm gonna do it. I don't gotta say it. You see what I'm saying? Man, I love you